All right, so my name's Eric Elliott. I grew up in upstate New York, Kingston, New York to be specific. And currently I work as a truck manager for Triple S Trucking in Aztec, New Mexico. I'm responsible for about 24 trucks and 24 drivers. It's oil field driving. So we operate pretty well round the clock. Obviously, it's much busier during the day than it is at night, but there still is a 24-hour component to this job. And my job is just to make sure that I have enough drivers for my trucks on a daily basis, and I'm satisfying all our customer needs. Currently, we have I think five customers that we service, and we haul produced water off of locations to keep them on, and we also service a few drilling rigs and workover rigs as well. So every day you start off with a plan, and my day starts at 6 in the morning, and usually by 8:30 I'm on my third or fourth plan, and it's really a juggling act. So I just have a very good communication level with all my drivers, and thankfully I have enough drivers that have been around for a while where so they understand the nature of our job in terms of just because you left the yard with tasks A, B, and C doesn't mean that you're going to wind up doing them that order, or you might just start with A, and by the end of the day you don't even know where your day was supposed to begin. So I grew up in upstate New York, and I went away to a 4 year school to learn or to play football, and I had no business being in college as a freshman and did everything wrong. Even made up a few new things that freshmen can do wrong, and wound up back in my hometown at community college. And one of my best friends from high school was there. So he said he found a college, and that whole process of a formal education, nobody ever told me that like the marketability of that degree. Had I known that you would have needed uh, some serious education above a bachelor's degree, I probably would have chose a different path or been more serious about continuing my education there. But I decided that I would go and try a different career path, but one that I felt really valued hard work and work ethic. So I enrolled at our local community college to get they had at that time, they offered a CDL program. So it was just a 3 month program, and got that. And I wound up getting my license on a Wednesday. And then I saw an ad on Thursday morning for Aztec or Triple S Trucking in Aztec, New Mexico, which is just across the border, and started working here by that afternoon. So it all worked out pretty well for me. My high school experience was great. You know, I played football. I was on the ski team, and for my 14th birthday, my dad told me to get a job. So I had all three of those things going on, and really, I mean, I learned all your basic P's and Q's in high school, but being a student, being an athlete, and then being an employee, and having to maintain a certain grade point average to keep, one, to be eligible for sports, but more importantly, to keep my parents off my back. It really, time management, and that was really the best, the most valuable thing I learned from out of high school was your ability to juggle your time to satisfy all your requirements, whether that's work, family, or school. I have three kids, ages 20, 18, and 16. My oldest son really had a hard time in school. He didn't like it. He didn't. I'm not exactly sure because he still hasn't really told me what it what the problem was, but he was definitely not a traditional education guy. And maybe it's because I have a college degree. I don't put much value in my college degree. Like, there's a difference between intelligent and educated, and you can be one without being the other, and they're not the same. But anyway, he decided after I bought him a junky car and him and dad fixed it up in the yard that he wanted to be a mechanic. So when he was done with his high school journey, he went to in Farmington, New Mexico, which again is just south of Aztec, and he did a program. He went to I forget the name of it, but he's a mechanic, but he's a Dodge certified mechanic. In his program, you did 8 weeks in the classroom and then 8 weeks at a dealership. So for 8 weeks in the classroom, no paycheck. When you worked for the dealership, you got a paycheck. So unlike my college experience, he got paychecks for twice a semester, which was a really sweet deal. And the hiring rate is 100% for his program historically over the last 4 or 5 years. So the dealership that he was mentoring in is the dealership he works for now. And for a minimal investment of 2 years, and for an 18-year-old, 2 years seems like a long time, but as you age, that 2 years isn't that long. But his investment was $12,000 or $13,000. I think he's been out of that program for almost a year, and he just hit the $30 an hour mark as a 20-year-old. And from personal experience, people with bachelor's degrees and some master's degrees, they're not going to attain that level for quite some time out of college. So if you're struggling with a traditional style of education, there's, especially at the community college level, whether you choose an associate's degree or just some certifications, there's lots of avenues there with a little bit of money and a little bit of time invested, that you can make yourself pretty marketable for a good salary and still have some upward mobility in whatever field that you want.